eyes can read. Today, try not to make it too loud. I know I have had some bag complaints in the past, but we'll take it out off camera. We have some Wingstop. They repeat, we have Wingstop for a special little subscriber celebration that I'm going to throw today, just in time for the Happy New Year. I do record these a bit in advance, so it's not really a new year today for me, but for you it will be. Well, depending if you watch it on New Year's, you could watch it 17 years from now, and maybe a bit disappointing, but I mean, hey, you gotta do what you gotta do, and I'm gonna do what I gotta do, and what I gotta do is sit here, eat Wingstop, wax poetic about our topic today, which is existentialism, and get really sad. So, without further ado, let's get depressed and eat some chicken wings. Okay, we should be back. For some reason, I don't think they have ketchup packets there, so I do have some Fairway original ketchup, because Fairway is the only way. For what our meal is, we have some lemon pepper and Cajun wings. Boneless, of course, because I'm a child. And then we have some, like, weird Louisiana something fry. I don't know. It was fries with cheese and ranch on it, so I guess I had to do it. And, speaking of ranch, this costs like $1.50 extra. What the heck, Wingstop? The reason why I am doing Wingstop in the first place is because, a brand new Wingstop opened where I live, and I just had to partake in the jubilation. Let's see if the fries, if you thought regular fries at Wingstop were soggy, check out the ones covered in cheese and ranch. Cheese. I hope that makes a sound you can actually hear. Oh, Wingstop. Oh God. Need a fork for these, jeez. I do have my trusty Snoopy napkin, as I can't trust regular napkins to go up to the job. Oh my God, I will need a fork for these. I was a bit more excited about trying this Wingstop because it's closer than the other Wingstop in my town. So I was like, oh, the food will be hotter and nicer when I get home. And not limp. Boy, was I wrong. I do love Wingstop, though. I don't know if this is manageable. Oh well. Adds to the existential nature of our day, doesn't it? Okay, I'm just gonna get... Matter of fact, I don't even know how I'm gonna dip these in ketchup. They already fall apart. Anyway. Let's get some actual chicken in the bargain. That will hopefully make an actual sound for you guys here. Oh yeah. Some unadulterated ranch action. Unadulterated ranch action. Yeah, that's lemon peppery. idea to go with my special subscriber Wingstop celebration. And that is that is not a naturally occurring color, is it? And that is, instead of spending an hour to eat these while I discuss my topic, and the food gets gradually colder and soggier, as I can already tell, how about I just eat first and then we'll discuss afterward? That way, I can somewhat enjoy the meal. I'm a very selfish person, by the way, if you haven't noticed. That was supposed to be one of their hotter wings, but just didn't. Well, I guess I could see how a regular person would consider it hot. Me and Old W, we make a lot of spicy food. I mean, I have like 4 or 5. I have 5 different chili powders, a lot of Indian and Korean chili powders. We like spicy food. And we have some special Vietnamese like chili oils that our friend makes us as well. So, like, I always call it like actual spice, and like this is like white people spice, you know. It's spicy, sure, but not really that much. God, I'm forgetting a core aspect of eating Wingstop, and that is the room temperature test. Let us perform the room temperature test on this wing, and I think I have a little bit of insight from my previous wing as to what the answer will be. Ah, yes. Room temperature. You passed Wingstop. Man, I'm a little disappointed by that, actually. I was really hoping that, you know, that we had made a clean break into a new. Oh God. Not spicy, just went down the wrong pipe. That we had made a new age, like a clean break of Wingstop. To be fair, the lemon and pepper were pretty warm, so maybe they just made the Cajun first or something, and the lemon and pepper are the freshest. What they should do is get a heat lamp, because I got there, my order was waiting for me on the counter. I got there right when my order was supposed to be ready, but there wasn't a heat lamp, so say they get their order like 5 minutes ready, and it's not under a heat lamp. Well, it's just gonna get cold, man. Like, come on. Oh well. Sorry, as a chef, these are the things I think about. Happy day. We've returned with a fork, and I can actually eat my fries now. Oh my God, or just potato strings at this point. They're so soft and squishy. I'm gonna get my calorie intake today, aren't I? Alright, let's try the Fairway ketchup, as it is the only way, after all. Fairway ketchup going in. Yeah, that helps it a bit, I think. It also leaves a hunk of cheese and like a jalapeno ranch, I think it is, in the little ketchup pile. idea of that is. I'm like, because this one I'm just gonna do like I said, the discussion at the end. Are there people who are like, oh, I'm just gonna skip to the end and watch a discussion? Or are there people who are just like, oh, fantastic, finally, I'm just gonna watch the eating thing. And then once he's done eating and starts running his mouth, then I can stop, you know? And he'll watch the whole thing. Hopefully all of you. Because that helps me greatly. Not just my channel, but like my ego. I'm just kidding. You can tune out now if you want. I don't want anyone. I'm not about forcing anyone into stuff they don't care about. God, like just take a look at that. Granted, it's hard to do fries covered in stuff. Because unless you eat it like right away, the fries will just invariably turn to mush. To think I'm a proud Wingstop shareholder. Just hate doing my company service. That's not just room temperature. That's cold. Granted, it's winter and it's like 0 degrees outside. But still, I just got home. Maybe we can dip the wing in like the cheese sauce or something. Oh, but it's solidified. No can do. Back to ranch. Ah. Drink break. But to lean into today's topic, because we won't get to actually reading about it, because as Emprise can read, won't get into reading about it until my hands are not dripping in red chili, ranch, and grease. But we also discuss and talk about what I even am talking about. And that is existentialism, which, if you don't know, is a sort of philosophical, school philosophical system. Of finding belief in one's life, of finding belief in existence. Now, it could be something really complex of like, why am I here? What must I do? I need to be a teacher so I can help guide the next generation. Or something really simple like, oh, I just really like Wingstop. Louisiana soggy fries. Which if you, it is your way, then more power to you, but I will not be there with you. But essentially, existentialism is as the sun beats down on me. This sort of mental struggle to find out what you're going to do with your life. It's closely tied to like absurdism and nihilism, which, wow, what a coincidence. I have videos, links somewhere about nihilism and absurdism. You could even tie into Stoicism. And those are kind of just other ways of finding your purpose, of finding what you think life is about. Whether you think that life is meaningless, like a nihilist, and you just don't want to have anything to do with it, or whether you're like, yeah, life is meaningless, but it's so pretty fun, and I'm just gonna have a great experience, like an absurdist. You know, Sisyphus must imagine himself happy. If only Bryce could imagine themselves happy eating whatever this concoction is. For those new to the channel or to me, I'm like a professional chef, and I'm pretty big on, we cook most of our own food as well as like pretty health conscious, so eating something like this to me like takes me out. My little body can't handle it, but I'll do it for you, my loyal Empricites. And the sort of plague of existentialism is the fact that there's no real concrete answer behind it, because everyone will have their own definition of success, of happiness, of meaning, and there's just a lot of sort of fighting about what it may mean. And some people will say, oh, you don't have my definition of life, so that means you're unhappy. And there's a lot of unnecessary conflict around it, I feel. Why are these cold? I just got home, I feel. So today, we are going to talk a little bit about a book that I took a lot of inspiration from. The existentialism perceived in that book, presented in that book, I mean, and then kind of what existentialism means to me and how I found my meaning out of everything. Interesting stuff, huh? Alright, I think I'm done with the Cajun wings, so my fingers will be kind of spared. So I can grab the Dust Coverless book, And Kind, by Charlie Kaufman. I don't like having the dust covers on, I always take them off because I'm psychotic, I guess. I don't know, I just find them obnoxious. And I like the feel of like, oh, it's like a, you know, you can really hear the book. glass covers on. It's like this little flimsy piece of paper that is just distracting you, and it gets everywhere. It gets up in the way. It's obnoxious. I just don't like it. Oh my gosh. I don't think I can eat these anymore, man. They're just too much, okay? But I do have some wings left. But why I picked this book, and I will unequip my glasses so I can actually read it. Why I picked this book, and it's not just because it's a minor self-plug, because this book heavily inspired my own book, Please Feel Bad, I'm Dead, available on Amazon.com and locally where I live. But because it really does encapsulate a lot of existentialist themes, existentialist dread, and this guy, Charlie Kaufman, his films are all packed with existential pain and dread, and that's a whole nother video. But we'll just get into this book for the moment and talk about what it means to me and some little sections in it that I like. And we'll have a fun little time here. I know this sounds like an intro that I'm doing 20 minutes into the video, but that's okay because I'm still eating chicken, aren't I? There's a few of my friends who I haven't told that I make these videos or that I even write in general, and I'm kind of afraid to tell them because it's like, how do you explain? Oh yeah, sometimes I sit down, I discuss literature, and I eat chicken wings in front of a camera. Like and subscribe, you know. God, I'm being re-tempted back into trying these fries as I just congeal more and more. I was wrong. Okay, this is the last chicken wing, and I think I might have finally learned for the last time that I just cannot trust Wingstop's fries. And to just get the chicken, man. Just get the chicken. Last bite, finally. Snoopy, take me away from this madness. Which, by the way, if you like Wingstop and all this food, more power to you. It's just not for me. Hence the subscriber celebration precedent. Thank you, Janice. Okay. Discussion time. So tune out if you just wanted the food stuff. And tune right back on in if you just wanted the discussion stuff. So Mankind by Charlie Kaufman. Basically, the book is about this film critic who is going about his life writing criticisms, never being able to make their own art. But like people always have that expression you have, you know, if you can't teach, you become a principal. If you can't make, you know, if you can't write, you become a critic. And he is a critic. he stumbles upon what he views to be the greatest movie ever made. And it's this outsider artist who has made this movie that's like 3 months long. You know, like 3 consecutive months long, this gigantic experimental film. And the book hinges on, he watches the movie, he finds it to be the greatest movie ever made, but no one has seen it but him. So he tries to bring it to the public eye and to show it to the world, because the outsider artist, thanks, piped out Honda Civic outside, but the outsider artist dies, so it's up to this movie critic to show this beautiful movie to the world. And in doing so, the movie is accidentally destroyed. The only film reel of it is destroyed, burned up, except for one frame. And the book is him trying to recreate the movie. And there's a lot of themes about what it means to exist, what it means to create, how you find your purpose, and just a lot of insanity packed in between the lines. If you've read my book, you'll know that there are these creatures called the Invisibles in my book. And in this one, credit where credit is due, I kind of took inspiration from this book, where he has this group of people called the Unseen. The Unseen sort of exist in the background of life, and as it may be implied, they are unseen. And there's a lot of interplay throughout this whole book about what it means to be unseen versus seen, and whether one is better than the other, and how someone who is unseen, kind of like this movie critic, finds meaning and finds purpose when, by all accounts, it seems that no one cares about them. You know, he's the guy who's always in the back critiquing others and critiquing everything else, but he's never been, in front of the camera before, really, to open himself up to criticism, to open himself up to life in a meaningful way. And this first section I'm going to read is the filmmaker, before he dies, is describing to the critic what the unseen are and what the unseen mean to him. So let's take a look inside, shall we? But first, some water. But I gotta clear out my throat from all that chicken. So, they're talking, right? In my grief, a night conversation of several days ago with Ingo, the artist, occurring as he tucked me in, replays like a ghost in my head. There are multitudes of unseen, he said. Unseen. The ones not seen. I see. In the movie. They're in the movie. They're unseen in the movie. So then they're not in the movie. They're in it, but the camera is facing away from them, as it is for most of us. So it's more or less a conceptual notion. No, the puppets have been built with as much care as the seen puppets. They have been posed movement by movement, just as have the seen puppets. They have lived their lives, but have not been witnessed by the camera, only by me. You animated them, but didn't film it, and sextupled my workload. Had I not, I could have made the film in 15 years. It was a necessary sacrifice. But why? Because the unseen live, too. Because if I don't see them live, who will? But why not film them and allow them to be seen by the world? Because they aren't seen, and we're one to see the unseen. They would no longer be the unseen. Did you record on paper at least their names, their loves, their families? Only in my head. And over the years I have forgotten many of the details, many of the names. They blur together into a mass, into a notion, into the moth-eaten goat of memory. When I die, what remains of them dies with me. That seems wrong and horribly sad. Such is the world. Would you show these puppets to me? No. Will you tell me about them? Only by way of census. They are only known as numbers. There are 1,573 black adult males over the age of 20. You built 1,573 black male puppets over the age of 20 and animated them. That's an extraordinary amount of labor. Not enough. Not nearly enough. Never enough. But it is all I was capable of. My time is finite. There are 1,612 black females over the age of 20. Jesus, I said. There are 1,309 black males under the age of 20, 1,387 black females under the age of 20, among them the 8 adventure girls. Adventure girls. I took a special interest in them, Ingo said. Who? The adventure girls. I was young when they came into being. I thought they could break through. I gave them every opportunity. I made them warriors. I made them brilliant. I had them solve crimes within the unseen. I made them sexy horse thieves. I loved them. I favored them. I imagined myself as them. But I was wrong. How are you wrong? Even with all my control over their destinies, I was still an unseen myself. An unseen god to unseen girls, and there was nothing I could do, and so they fought, and I loved them. But in the end they too fell back into the sea of invisibility, taking on thankless jobs, losing their sparks, working at slammies, emotional labor they call it these days. It was inevitable. I know that now. Can I see them? No. Only a few are still alive. They are old and sad. It is hard to look at the unseen, even if you are unseen yourself. It is hard to look. One doesn't want to be reminded. It is better to look at the seen, the unseen, or the audience for the seen. They are here to watch, not to be watched. Yeah, that's bleak. And then actually I'll jump ahead a little bit more. There's another section on the unseen I remember that I want to elucidate you with. It's Ingo, the artist, talking again. Most of us are invisible, he said. We live our lives unrecorded. When we die, it's soon, as if we had never lived. But we are not without consequence, because, of course, the world does not function without us. We have jobs. We support economies. We take care of children and the elderly. We are kind to someone. We murder. The existence of us, the unseen people, must be acknowledged. But the dilemma is that once acknowledged, we are no longer truly those same unseen people. Your Dardenne brothers, your Disikas, your Satyajit Rays are honorable, talented filmmakers, decent, and, I suspect, caring. But the work they do is wrong-headed. Once the unseen are seen, they are no longer unseen. These men have perpetuated a fiction. I don't know why I stumbled on that word. I have struggled with this issue, and my solution is to build and animate the world outside the view of my camera. These characters exist and are as carefully animated as those seen in the film. They are just forever out of view. And I feel a lot of people out in the world, especially in this nightmare world we found ourselves in 2024, welcome 2025, feel that we live forever out of view, and that no one cares about us, and that no one even really sees that we do exist. And that it is these limited people, the Keanu Reeves and the Sabrina Carpenters who we fawn over. Well, at least I fawn over Keanu Reeves. That we love and that we see and that we say, oh, these people exist because they're famous and they're rich and they're powerful. But what I feel so many people fall into is this sort of trap of the unseen, and how Ingo, the artist, talked about the adventure girls lost their sparks and they lost their individuality and they got these terrible jobs and they thankless labor, and they sort of faded into obscurity. The light that they had within themselves went out because they let it go out, because they lived their life thinking that they had to be seen to be important. And so many people today, on social media, on these extremist political polls that we have now, and all the unrest in the world, people think that people just tend to fall deeper and deeper into despair, into depression, into nihilism, and they don't realize that there is something more, and there's a way to get out and to find a purpose. You just have to, you may not want to hear this if you are also in this sort of pit of existence and you haven't become happy yet, or you haven't found your definition of success yet, but you're going to have to pull yourself up by your bootstraps and find the life that you want to lead. Now, this next section I'm going to read is about the little difficulties of experience and living and trying to find your own meaning, because so many times other people's meanings and other things that you have no control of end up seeping into your experience, into your existence, and changing it for the worse. So let's get into that section now. So this is a little monologue spoken by the hero, by the movie critic, and he's talking about how the movie experience is difficult because not of the movie itself, but because of the experiences around you at the time and the viewpoints around you at the time. And I think that's a sort of amazing analogy for how people can be plagued by existentialism through other people's views of what it means to exist, as well as trying to qualify to yourself, but not to yourself, but to other people, why you deserve to exist and why your individuality or your enjoyment is valid, and other people sort of like, making the mud pile a little dirty. I don't know what that's supposed to mean. I'm just gonna read the book. That is the true movie-going experience. A movie is not only the image on the screen, the sound from the speakers. It is the translation of all this by the brain. It is the social milieu. It is the year you see it, your age, the state of your marriage. It is what happened on the way to the theater, what you expect to happen after. It is who is next to you on each side. It is how they smell. It is who sits in front of you, who is or isn't kicking your seat from behind. It is your worry about the call from the doctor. It is that you got laid, or didn't, or are about to, or no, you never will again. It is your envy of the filmmaker, of the couple nicking down front. It is the popcorn, the goobers, that you have to go to the bathroom, that someone is eating a smelly tuna fish sandwich, that they smuggle it in. It doesn't seem fair that the cheaters get the sandwiches and the rest of us get shit on. It is your suspension of disbelief, the scene that motivates an eye roll. It is your critique of the acting. It is you trying to remember where you've seen that actor before. It is your prediction of what's going to happen next in the film. It is your pride when you are proven correct. It is your surprise when the filmmaker defies your expectation. It is life, which you only get to live once. You prepare for it, but it will surprise you anyway. The film is predetermined, but revealed to you only through time incrementally. This makes you think it is a living thing, a thing from which you can change the outcome. You yell at the actors on screen. You clench your teeth as if it will help. And even though the movie is predetermined, the world is not. So the movie can change in this way too. the projector could break down. Maybe the screening has a loud laugher. Maybe there will be a shooter. These chance elements are layered upon the chanceless film. So a text that encompasses all of this outer and inner experience is not a novelization. It is so much more. It is a witnessing, and it should be called that. Bearing witness to the human experience. This plastic, this light, this clackety 1/24th of a second through time, that the film and I are traveling together but separate, neighboring solitudes. The original meaning of the word martyr is witness, and that seems about right. A viewer is a witness. A witness is one who testifies. This will be a witnessing. Yeah, that's kind of sad, isn't it? You know, the idea that if I want to watch Indiana Jones, I can't just myself watch Indiana Jones, but the asshole next to me is going to hamper my experience. If I got in a fight with my significant other beforehand, that'll hamper the experience. If, you know, some crazy stuff is happening in your country at the time, that's going to hamper the significance, the meaning and whatnot. As well as, like, if you're on your first date, that's going to be the best movie ever, you know, provided you like the person. If you are out with your friends after like a really horrible week and you're just letting loose and having a good time and you're just like, hey, let's go see this movie and get drunk and whatnot, you know, and you think it's the funniest movie ever, not because it's a funny movie, but because you're with your friends. And I mean, if you ever want proof of that, go watch a really funny comedy by yourself, you know, and see how funny it is when you're not surrounded by everyone you love in life. And it's this idea that, like, when we exist, so much of that isn't the I am M. Price. It is the I have to upkeep the image of M. Price within my friend, and the image of M. Price within my lover, and the image of M. Price within my coworkers, and the image of M. Price for you, my viewer. And I can't just focus on M. Price for me, which is, I think, a great challenge of our time. The idea that so many people don't really focus on themselves because you're caught up in this image, in this culture of you always gotta be the best, you always gotta have the most money, the fastest car, the sexiest woman. You have to be the best constantly. And not only that, but you have to be what everyone else idolizes constantly. So even if you don't like something, well, guess what? You have to do it because everyone else does. So the final section that I'd like to read is a bit of a solution. I like to provide solutions. So they're talking about Ingo's work again and about other movies. And they're saying, claptrap is an interesting word. Are you aware of its etymology? It is surprisingly and profoundly straightforward. It is, in essence, pandering, a piece of work designed to elicit applause. Literally, a clap as an applause, trap as in a trap or trick. How much of our lives do we waste attending to the claptrap of others, offering our attention, our approval, our applause to an effort designed by them only for self-aggrandizement? Think of all the books in the world, all the movies, TV shows, music, periodicals, bloviating politicians, artists of all stripes. Imagine all this claptrap. Have I told you the etymology of that word? In any event, picture all these things and people piled up in one space. Would they reach to the moon? I think perhaps many times there and back. And this is what we have jammed into our brains. How does it all fit? This is one of the reasons I love Ingo's work, the filmmaker. He has no interest in jamming it into anyone's head. His motives were pure. He was creating for himself. And that, I think, is the purest thing you can do. The idea of you have something you like, you do it. You want to write a book that no one else wants to read, like me, you do it. You want to make a movie and post it on YouTube for 10 people to watch, you do it. Do whatever you want to do, and let that be how you define your existence, because all this other shit is just claptrap. You know, you don't need to feel sorry for yourself and to get down in the dumps and to be drowning in nihilism, because that just seems what's popular at the time. You don't have to. Don't let other people drag you into their miserable existences. And existentialism, nihilism, absurdism, stoicism, all these big isms, they don't have to be sad. They don't have to be edgy boy in the corner listening to emo music and, hurting themselves. They can be good reminders that you don't have to live that way, and you can live a positive life. I have a jubilant life of success and progress and continuing to move forward. And I guess that's what I would encourage you to do as best I can. Because that's certainly what I do with my life. If I didn't, I wouldn't have a YouTube channel where I eat chicken wings and talk about a book I like. No one's living the existentialist dream better than I am. I do take pride that I really do think I live life as much as I want to, in the way that I want to, and much to some of the disappointment of others, I don't do what is conventional. Whether it's my family or some friends who have expressed like, oh, why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? You're so much better than having to be a chef. You're so much better than having to do this or that. And it's like, man, you don't know what I want. You don't know what I like and what makes me happy. So you just get out of the picture. Anyway, I'm chicken wingless. I do have some fries, but I think they are growing organisms of their own, and I'd rather not ingest those. I've already ingested too much, I think. The final swig of Janus to send me off on my way, I think. Always gotta leave a little at the bottom. Bad luck to totally finish your water bottle, unless you're in a very sticky situation and you need the water in an emergency. Anyway, this has been... Oh no, I gotta do a bigger outro because I have an announcement. Channel announcement. One, I hope you're happy because I got ranch on my headphone jack. I always have to... I've had a lot of audio problems for common viewers on my channel, regular viewers on my channel. So I always double check the audio every time I have to restart my recording. And I got it in my ranch. God damn it. But it's okay because I won't let that negativity stop me. Happy accidents here. Happy accidents. We love Bob Ross. And I will actually do some painting videos at some point. But that's what I wanted to talk about in future videos. You may or may not know this. I make a lot of my videos ahead of time. So this is mid-December when I'm making this, but it's coming out in January. I like to have everything done, and by now you'll have the whole of my Hobbit video, another short film advertising, a little mini movie for Please Feel Bad I'm Alive, more Charles Bukowski, just some more fun stuff. And this will be on New Year's, and then I'm going to take a break for a while, another big break, because I only have so much free time, and I want to spend the next free time I have working on my fantasy book. I want to write a fantasy book. I've wanted to forever, and I've been basically brainstorming ideas for it like the past 1 or 2 months, and I got a lot to go through. So that's going to be my next project, probably up until we move into our house, which will be, next year. I got a big year next year. A lot of stuff to do. And my house is going to be incomplete, so I got to build some of it. The whole basement myself, me and W. So that'll be a whole adventure in and of itself. Maybe a video out of that, we'll see. So you'll have a video here and there from me on this channel. For sure, I want to read the first chapter of my book, my new book on here, when that comes out, ASMR and regular. And then when I get closer to reaching out to try to get a big hit published, I'm going to read The Lord of the Rings and a sequel to The Hobbit. For my sequel to The Hobbit series, because I want to help build and help my community of readers and thinkers and listeners thrive, and fantasy lovers. Nothing better than Lord of the Rings. And that'll just give me, I hope, some more leeway to try to get my book get published. Especially if I have videos of me reading from the book and people like, so we will see where that takes us. Otherwise, the occasional video here and there of me doing this or that might pop up. I do get this itching to make a video once in a while. I think that was all I wanted to talk about. Hopefully I'm not forgetting something. If I am, you won't know, and you won't hear about it for many months. But that's okay. In the meantime, I encourage you to look back at my other videos, I guess, if you have missed a few, or if you just have a few favorites you like to revisit. I have many playlists on my page to hopefully give you a nice starting point. A greatest hits playlist, obviously the most popular ones. And Price can read, and Price can look, and Price can build many, many options for you that I hope to expand in the future. Like I said, I want to get into painting. That is when I have my own room that I can afford to be dirty in. Anyway, as you may or may not know, I am M. Price, and this has been M. Price Can Read. And as you may or may not know again, hopefully by now you do know that Dog City never sleeps. I hope that you